I'm the Commissar. We're watching Forged Alliance Forever. And you only live once. Or, as the kids these days say, YOLO. But, do you only YOLO once? That's a different question entirely. Let's watch and find out. 14 players, my loyal viewers. Why do I put myself through this, I wonder? 7 in the north, and 7 in the south. Let us meet the north team first. In the rearguard position, which I imagine will be the air position, this is Yachiyo, who is 2042 rated in Seraphim in white. Only slightly forward in the other carry position, we have Plum. Plum is rated 2018 and is UEF in grass green. Moving along the front line, at the left-hand end, we have Dimitri 11, who is 2012 rated in UEF in grey. Next to him, we have Boomking, 1385 rated and Cybran, he's in mauve. Here in the forward position, we have Okpuck, who is 1942 rated and Eon in burgundy. In this sort of not sure what it does position nestled in between everyone else, I have more. More than what? That's the question. We'll have to find out during the game. He's 1520 rated, and he is Cybran in purple. And last but not least for the northern team, down here we have BannableOffence, who is 2326 rated, and Eon, he's in orange. In the rearguard air slot for South Team, this is BrainDeadCommand, who is 2175 rated and Cybran. He's in light green. And in the other rearguard slot, we have FaffingOff, who is 1965 rated and Eon, in, for reasons best known to himself, mucus brown. Along the front line, we have Tabernapple, who is 1713 rated and Eon in bright red. Ooh. We have this player here whom we were about to introduce unhappy with FaffingOff. This player is Namplam. Namplam is 1419 rated and Eon, he's in lime green. Here in the middling slot, we have No Entiendo 64. Haha, I see what he did there. He's 1561 rated in UEF, he's in yellow. Moving forward here, this fellow is briang, who is 1706 rated in Eon in cyan. And last but not least, the game's highest rated player by a huge margin, this is Nomander. Nomander is 2716 rated, that's completely insane. He's chosen to go fecal brown because that pleases him, I suppose. And he is Seraphim. Quick look at the map. There's clusters of reclaim here in the corners, not much anywhere else. And there's a lot of mexes to fight over, but there's a sort of clear dividing line down the middle. How turtly is this going to be? I don't know. We have a bomber out from Dimitri, a T1 bomber. Picking up an engineer belonging to Nomander, which is quite nice. And he's covering it with an inti. Is it going to get any more? Nomander splits his energies as the bomber comes in, which is very good. And he just saves this one, and that bomber might get shot down by this anti-air. So, good splitting from Nomander, saves all but one of his energies there. Over here we have reclaim drops out from both Moore and Faffing. Moore just dropping one energy here and sending the others to try and pick up all this sort. Faffing, though, he's landing the energies, but he's also got a couple of labs on board, making a sort of cheeky mini ghetto gunship. For my newer viewers who aren't familiar with this, labs can shoot off gunships, off transports, and so it's like a cheap gunship that you can get at T1. Whereas normally the only players with access to T1 gunships are Cybrans. However, Faffing is defending from these drops, he's bombing them. And BrainDead has sent in engineers of his own to get some of the reclaim. Yachiyo is trying to drop his reclaim on this side as well. That's pretty nice. He did try to drop the expansion here, but Nomander had a cheeky little raid that's come all the way up, and that's denied him. So instead of dropping the expansion, he's gone on to grab the reclaim. Nice denial, although Dimitri will probably pick this up sooner or later, although if he's unlucky, he'll lose his energy first. No, he won't. And Faffing's little ghetto gunship has carried on, taking out a mech or two belonging to Bannable, and it actually lands the labs before the inties from Bannable shoot it down. So these labs have really caused trouble for North Team, and they might just go on and pick up another mech here. The left-hand reclaim has gone unclaimed for quite some time, but now Yachiyo has dropped in with this there's leftover energies from his transport and is picking it up, not letting it go to South Team if he can avoid it. So that's pretty nice, and these labs claim another mech. These labs feel like they're going to be the MVPs. Okay, maybe not. They get shot by some tanks out from Bannable. Okpuck, meanwhile, has started the gun upgrade. I think that's the first upgrade we've seen going down on any of the comms in this game so far. We've got a little bit of spam coming forward from Brian, but they've run into Boomking's comm and Boomking's spam. And if you have spam plus spam, one side with a comm is going to win it. No surprises there. And Brian is going to be forced back here. Nice free vet for Boomking's comm. Namplam is now also getting gun. He's going to be a bit behind Okpuck. And Okpuck is also assisting his so that he goes a little bit faster. Tabernapple has also sent spam forward, but that's run into Plum's comm. Plum has brought his comm all the way up here, as you'd expect the rearguard players to do in the beginning stages of the game. Although, saying that, Faffing hasn't. Neither has, neither of the really rearguard players, the air players as it were, have. But Plum could make the difference here, bringing his comm up. And a sensor upgrade going down for Bannable, that's nice. It will help him see what's going on, although it does deny him the speed gun. Same choice for Tabernapple. Meanwhile, though, check this out. This is the transport from Plum that's come all the way around the outside across the bottom and is landing a full load of NGs right behind the base of BrainDeadCommand. That's brilliant, and immediately he drops down factories. Does BrainDead know anything about this? No, he doesn't. He can't see this at all. And so this could be an incredibly unpleasant surprise. He's upgrading mexes here, of course. And so he could just lose some quite high-value economy if Plum is able to keep this hidden. Meanwhile, we have a cheeky little raid from BrainDead, taking out a couple of T1 mexes. One down. Are we going to see another one going down for Bannable here? If so, this T1 raid has absolutely paid for itself. Yes, it does. Nice work. Okpuck going for the extra range on his comm, but so is Namplam. Okpuck is almost done. I think he's definitely going to finish first. He might be able to force a cancel there. Meanwhile, how is Plum's drop doing? Well, I think it's been seen because this comm is coming forward for BrainDead. Yeah, BrainDead has spotted it. And the artillery pieces are going to swarm past it. Oh, this is great. Look at this. He's coming back with the transport to pick them up and take them elsewhere. And the artillery pieces, there's 3 factories here, so it'll take a while for the comm alone to keep up, and he's already lost a T2 mech right there. And as he does that, the NGs drop down here and start building a bunch of point defences. This is great work. However, Faffing has come to his aid, but dropping a bunch of artillery on it, and the NGs split. The 1 point defence has gone up. The NGs do get away. I don't think the point defence is going to get any actual damage done, but during this time, these arties have just kept on trickling out. That's 2 T2 mexes for BrainDeadCommand taken out by Plum's drop. I'm loving this, and these NGs are just keeping on going. They're now spreading out. I expect they're going to try and capture or reclaim a bunch of mexes. Meanwhile, though, we're gonna have to jump back a bit to the top left. Dimitri is advancing. He's got gun, he's got nano, but there's two comms here, both with gun. Nomander is currently routed to the spot on a T2 upgrade, but is he gonna... Yes, he cancels that. And this is two gun comms versus one comm with gun and nano. Both teams have a little bit of spam in the area, but I don't know which way this is gonna go, really. There is some T2 in the mix for both teams. Nomander with a couple of yen lines. Dimitri with a couple of pillars. And Dimitri is getting shots in on Entiendo. But Dimitri is deep into the yellow, and I think they can just kill him here. Dimitri is not a low rate to play. He's over 2,000, and this could be a big loss for North Team. Is he going to be a first ejection? I think he might be. Boom! Dimitri is ejected at 9 minutes 20. Taken out by Nomander, and that is going to hurt the North Team. Meanwhile, we have BrainDeadCommand and the RT have taken out this emplacement, but look at this. T1 point defense is going up everywhere from Plum's drop. Meanwhile, we have tabernapple going for the advanced range. We have more backing up a bit. We have Namplam and Okpuck still facing off. They both... Okpuck's taken a bit of damage there, but Namplam's got the more spam. Plum is there to help out, but he hasn't got any upgrades on him. How are those NGs doing? Well, this point defense is going to go up. Nice, nice. A bomber comes in and takes out the NG, but the point defense is up, and this could be a lovely pickup for Plum if he finishes this one. He does kill a Mex here, but now there's a... Might he kill a T2 Mex as well over here? The RT and the bomber... Yes, he does. Lovely. This is great work still going on from Plum. The RT will finish it off. This point defense goes up, and that's 4 NG shot down. So this is all marvelous work. That's all that one little drop in the corner. We love to see it. Meanwhile, one lone Yenzine hover tank from Nomander has come all the way around here and taken out 3-4 mexes. Boom is responding with basically an entire army, which is a mistake. In fact, I would be leaving it entirely to Plum's gunships and leaving my army to control the front line. But this T1 Mex, I think, is also going to go down, and it does before the tank is destroyed. So that was a lot of damage from one tank. That was 6 Mexes taken out. Meanwhile, we have Namplam applying pressure to Okpuck. Tabernapple also in the mix with some T2 forces. Okpuck does have the advanced range, but so do both Namplam and Tabernapple. And I feel there's more spam from South Team at the moment here. And Plum, who had his comm on the front line, realizing that an unupgraded comm has no place on the front line at this time of the game, airlifts him home. However, looks like we've got a few things to watch all at once here. We're going to start in the middle. Okpuck and Namplam are moving in for a fight. A lot of blazes here from Okpuck. Namplam has more spam, but it's all T1. And Okpuck using his range with Namplam's comm slightly out of position. This is good for Okpuck. However, he's now got his tanks and his comm in range of Namplam, and the two are exchanging fire. Namplam's numbers may tell here because blazes, while they can put out a lot of firepower, are paper thin, and so overcharges from Namplam could do the damage. And it looks like Okpuck is going to choose to back away at this point. Here on the right, Tabernapple is pressuring Bannable and more, and Bannable is looking a little exposed here because we have 2 identically equipped comms sent at extra range, but we've got a decent amount of T2 spam here from Tabernapple, and we've got a lot less from BrainDead. We do have Moore's comm, but Moore is just sitting around naked here, and will have a bit of trouble if called to partake in this fight. And Bannable, could he just be swarmed down? He is bringing in more spam though, so I don't think he'll be swarmed down just yet. BrainDead is also sending units to support Tabernapple though, so Bannable here on the front line could be at risk. Tabernapple falling back a bit. On the left, taking advantage of Dimitri's death, Nomander and Entiendo push in, and Yachiyo, who inherited this, has given it to Boomking, and Boomking expressed a bit of surprise back here, saying he was only 1400. And it's true, he is the lowest rated player on his team, but Yachiyo thinks he can handle it, and so handle it he must. But 2 comms pushing in here is going to be a problem. And Boomking's got a decent number of pillars here, and he can produce more, though this is the HQ, he can't produce more if he loses that. And he's got gun and stealth, but we've got gun and nano on Entiendo and gun on Nomander, so it's going to be a big ask for Boomking to defend this position. We saw Boom worrying about Nomander. Well, while he's worrying about Nomander, Brian is pushing forward with his comm, who's got gun and extra range, and a decent amount of spam. However, we do have Plum in defense with gunships. He's got gun, he's getting nano, and Brian sent a little bit of spam here. Still, there's T2 mexes here that Boom won't want to lose. Is Brian going to take the fight? I don't think he is just yet. Back to Tabernapple and Bannable. And Tabernapple is he trying to lure Bannable back into position. There's only a little bit of support coming in from BrainDead at the moment, but more is choosing to hold his comeback and upgrade him. We have got T2 point defense going down for Bannable to retreat to, but the armies are actually engaging. Who's got the more? Well, while I've been talking, Bannable's brought in quite a lot more, and he's got obsidians in here, and I don't think there's like 1 obsidian in there for... Oh no, there's a couple, okay. Who's gonna come out on top? Back to Boomking, who is under a lot of pressure right here. It looks like he has got enough to repel them, but how long is that gonna last? He's actually losing mexes here, but we've got T3 coming in from Nomander, and that is going to be a bit of a problem for Boomking, because I don't think Boom is in a position to repel any of that. And he certainly can't push forward. There's T2 point defense going up here. I wonder if this TML from Entiendo will get anything done. Back to Tabernapple and Bannable. Is Tabernapple going to be able to keep up the pressure? It seems like he has actually been able to work through a lot of Bannable's units. Moore has been forced to bring his comm in to join in the scrap. And suddenly Bannable's units are all dead, and Bannable and Moore are going to be forced to retreat towards these point defences that Bannable is putting up. Meanwhile, we have that tactical missile launcher hits the HQ and takes it out. That's going to be amazing. No more tech on this side for Boomking, and he's given this area, which is his original base, he's just given it over to Plum. But Nomander is now pushing in with sniper support, and I think the snipers, if nothing else, are going to force Boom to fall back. Tabernapple is now the one looking quite exposed over here with 2 comms against him, and he realizes that, and he retreats as well. Brian close to Plum's front line, the line that Boom just gave to Plum, but I think he's just posturing for now. Come on guys, I chose to cast this video, you've got to make something interesting happen. Well, this could be something interesting happening. We have a mass of Notha fighter bombers coming in from Yachiyo, who does have T3 air and quite a bit of it under production, so the only possible reason for this is going to be a snipe, isn't it? Who's it going to be coming for? Meanwhile, that tactical missile launcher is knocking out some shots from Entiendo, and there's a lot of undefended mexes here that could pick up. Most of these are T1. Oh no, there's tactical missile defense out from Boom, who's managed to save a bit, even though he's lost this front expansion to the snipers and Tech 3 from Nomander. Is that fire beaters I see? Is this fire beaters, my love viewers? You know I love a bit of fire beater action. Let's hope we get some work out from them. As Tabernapple, now with T3 in support, pushes forward. And I don't think Bannable has actually got T3 on the front line to help himself out. And the fire beaters come swarming in, but at the same time, so do the fighter bombers. They're going for the snipe on Tabernapple. Yachiyo going to snipe Tabernapple. And this explosion is going to see to the fire beaters and something else. Boom! Down goes Tabernapple. And suddenly, things are looking a lot safer for BannableOffence and for more. Up at the top, Nomander's T3 is just creeping forward with the sniper bots under Seraphim T3 shields with Othiums defending them. And what has Bannable got that can really stop it? Plum, although he's very heavily tooled up with gun, shield and nano, feels forced to fall back. Bannable is about to finish nano, but is this going to be too little too late? If this is just T1, what can he possibly do against this T3 force? He's going to be torn apart. He's finished his nano. He's going to go in. I think that's a bit of a... risky move. We'll check back on it in a minute as snipers open fire on him. But down here, I want to have a look at this. This is loyalists coming in from more. But BrainDead is defending. And he's got the fire beaters. Are we going to see fire beaters? To be honest, he doesn't need it. He's got enough of his T3 firepower to not waste his fire beaters. And indeed, Boom has seen the T3 and he has been forced to fall back. How is the fire beetle defense going? Well, Moore isn't finding any traction here that I can see. Bannable, who has still got shield in addition to his extra range, is coming forward. With his sensors, he can definitely see what he's up against. And the fire beaters swarm in. Are they just going for the comm? They might be. However, the comms have Omni and can see through stealth and cloak. The fire beaters do blow up a loyalist, but I don't think they're getting any real traction around here. No, they're not. What a pity. Meanwhile, that TML of Entiendos has been picking off mechs like nobody's business. There's a T2 mechs. It takes out, and while we watch, another missile comes in and takes out another T2 mechs. And are we going to see the third of three taken out in about 10 seconds by this TML? Yes, we are. Marvellous. At the top, North Team have resorted to T2 static arty defense against this, but what are the next wave of Nothers from Yachiyo going for? They haven't really got a snipe target here. Are they just going for the army or the production? I don't know. I mean, bombs away. It looks like they're going for the army. And they might pop a couple of fire beaters, but that wasn't much work done, and Faffing has brought in his ASFs. And I think he's just going to be able to clean it up here. Yeah, those are not going to pay for themselves. Meanwhile, the tactical missile launchers keep firing. Are they going to pick any more delicious mexes up? This one could be a nice target. But the loyalist tactical missile deflection on this unit from Plum sends it out. Meanwhile, Brian, with his heavy shield, is pressuring the front line. Oh, hold on. Is this tactical missile deflection actually really going to do the business? This tactical missile was fired from here, and boom! It's deflected back, and it takes out the TML. Isn't that fantastic? What a way to go. Meanwhile, let's go back to BrainDead and Bannable, where BrainDead is pushing in. In come his Harbies, and there isn't a great deal of T3 around for Bannable, which might cause a problem for him. Bannable is being forced to fall back. Moore is dropping in some loyalists here, and he's also actually dropped a couple of sneaky loyalists down here, which might be able to get some pressure in while the fight rages up here. Bannaber is shielding himself, and I think he's going to hold the front line as more loyalists from Moore come in to save the day, as it were. However, there's a lot of T3 here, including bricks and Harbies and Eon snipers from BrainDead, and that's probably going to be enough to hold off Moore. Meanwhile, he drops bricks to defend against the loyalist push. The loyalist drop. Though it has picked up a T2 mech, which is quite nice, as more bricks are dropped in order to defend, and Moore's attack is repaired. However, Bannaber is still on the front line. We've got to check up here though, because look at this. There is a lot of firepower from Nomander and Chiendo, but this is a strat snipe. This is a strat snipe, well, a strat backed up by a big bunch of nothers coming in on Entiendo. He's got gun, he's got shield, he's got nano, and that's a lot of firepower. But Faffing comes in to save the day with his ASFs. You know what the ASFs can't stop though? They can't stop fire beetles, and the fire beetles are swarming in. Are the fire beetles going to get a com kill? Yes! Yes they are, my lord viewers! And no, Entiendo 64, he has been fire beetled. What a way to go. I love it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Boom. Now, while that's been happening, I've more than once said Bannaber needs a few more units, and that is never looking more true than now. Look at this swarm pushing in. Now, we did see a notification that Moore built an experimental, but we can see on the minimap it's right the way up here at the back, some distance away. There goes Entiendo to the Beatles, which we just saw a moment ago. But right now, I'm more worried about Bannaber. Is he actually going to be taken out here? Okpuck also finishes an experimental. That's a GC, I think, and it's around here somewhere. But Bannaber is... he might just be gunned down by these Harbies. Blam. Bannaber is taken out by BrainDead. And Moore, as we can see, he's not at all far away from this army here, and he's got only a couple of loyalists defending his comm. We saw him finish a monkey, but that monkey was way back. Okpuck inherits, and Moore is just running away from this army. This expansion is going to be absolute toast, I'm sure of it. But are they going to try and take the comm? Here's the monkey. It's been coming forward, but there are Corsair fighter bombers in from BrainDead, and the Harbies open fire on Moore's comm. He's into the red. The monkey's right here. It's going to do its best. He's dropping in the units to try and take the pressure, but it's not enough. Boom. That's like 3 ejections in just the space of a minute or two, as BrainDead also takes out Moore. They say less is more, well now more is rather less. Ha ha ha. Dear me, why do I do this? Anyway, we're going to go straight over to Brian now. He's pushing into Plum's front line now. Plum had quite a big firebase here, but this is a lot of Harbies from Brian. However, look on the minimap. That is strats coming in from Yachiyo, and we see their shadows. The strats get a volley away. Now, Brian does have heavy shield, and there is T3 anti-air in the mix here. Brian is taken down into the red, and Faffing is on point with his ASF. They clean up the strats. But Yachiyo says just one more, and maybe that one more is all that's going to be needed. Boom! Yes, it is. One sneaky extra strat comes in and takes out Brian as well. And suddenly, after an absolute orgy of destruction on both sides, the game is down from 7v7 to 4v4. Meanwhile, we mentioned that Okpuck built a GC. Well, here it is. It has come into the front lines of BrainDeadCommand, and it could really get some damage done here. There was an immense amount of T3 production for BrainDead, including the HQ right there, and that could be a delicious pickup Just pausing there to admire the amazing new modules that we saw in the latest patch. But how long is that going to last? The HQ is down, and BrainDead, I think... Oh no, he has got an HQ back here, but this is Cybern, so all of this Eon production that he's inherited from Tabernapple is no longer any use. However, there's enough T3 still around to swarm down the GC, and it falls to the floor. Thud. Meanwhile, Brian may be dead, but Plum is not out of the water just yet. This is a lot of T3 that Nomander has either brought in or inherited. Some of it's his, it's Othium, some of it's, I think, Eon stuff he's inherited from Brian. And Plum is definitely feeling like he needs to get out of there as the T3 army from Nomander advances. And this is a lot of T3. Will Plum be able to escape? He's got a few bricks to hide behind, but they're not going to stand up long against this shielded monstrosity coming in. Namplam finishing what I imagine is a GC there we see, and Plum is bringing in transports to try and get himself out of there. Is he going to make it? The transport comes in, and the transport is shut down before he can even board it. He's just going to have to run for it on foot, hope for to get away. However, I do not think that Nomander is trying to grab the kill here. He's repositioning down here. Ooh, I wonder what killed this. That's a lot of mechs taken out for Okpuck. My loyal viewers, it was a bunch of 5 blazes. 5 blazes just sneak in here, and they're going to get a huge amount of damage done. Look at this. This is absolutely tearing apart mechs. This one's already been rebuilt once, but these are T2, and I think that Okpuck's just going to lose them essentially for free here. Yeah, down they all go. Now we know. Meanwhile, down here there was a monkey. This monkey has changed hands quite a lot. It was originally built by Moore. It was inherited by Okpuck, given to Plum, and then given back to Okpuck. However, it is looking a bit alone here. I don't think it's got enough firepower to take on this amount of T3, especially when there's this many sniper units firing on it. And indeed it's not. Look at that. It's not even going to pay for itself. It didn't even get its first veterancy before being taken out. Now, Okpuck is sending his GC up this way to defend against Nomander's forces. But there is this GC coming in here from Namplam. Does Okpuck actually know about it? My loyal viewers, he doesn't. He knows there's an army here, but he doesn't know what this... Was I just drawing in red there? Why am I drawing in red? I don't know. Either way, there's a GC coming in here, and it could spell trouble for Okpuck, because he has sent this GC away. He has got another one to construction, and he's given it to Plum to defend over here. So this could be a very nasty surprise indeed for Okpuck. Are we about to see a comm ejection? An orange ring goes around it from Bannable, who's watching from beyond the grave. He knows something coming, and Okpuck has seen it, and he is fleeing. The comm is pung. But this GC from Okpuck finishes in the absolute nick of time. Okpuck, who does have the shield, but not the heavy shield, hides behind his forces as they swarm forward, and Namplam might just lose this GC here pretty much for free, as suddenly Okpuck's harpies have cleared away the supporting units, or there are a few snipers here, and Namplam's GC goes down with Okpuck still on half health. Wow. But okay, we saw this jiggery pokery from FaffingOff last time he was featured. This is an awful lot of T1 bombers, and I think they're trying to go in for the snipe on Okpuck. But 1, he dodges, and 2, Yachiyo comes in and is ready to take the air fight, and the air fight is going to go down. Is Yachiyo actually going to be able to win this one? It's going down over Okpuck's emplacement, so he might be able to he'll be benefiting from these anti-airs, and Yachiyo actually wins there. And with that, he's going to bring in a vast wave of strats. We'll have a look back at this in a minute, though I think this is currently just a bit of exchanging RT and missile fire. I see laser going down. We'll have to check on that in a minute too. That's laser on Boomking, but this is a big wave of strats, and Faffing's just lost everything. What's it going for? If I were Yachiyo, I would be aiming for the air grid here. This could be absolutely brutal. He's going to lose a few of the strats to Faffing's ASF, but enough of them are going to get through. No, they're dropping that. They're going for the comp snipe on Namplam, and they're going to get it. Boom, down goes Namplam. But he was their lowest rated player, and why would he want to give all that eco to Nomander when he could have taken out this air grid belonging to Faffing? I don't get that. But that's his choice, and he's vastly higher rated than me, so I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Meanwhile, we said we'd check back on Plum, and he is pushing forward with 3 XP, the GC and 2 monkeys. There's a fatty in here from Nomander, and Nomander is kiting back the fatty and his spearheads. And there are still a few beetles in there, which I always like to point out. So, Nomander might actually lose this expansion, which would be a bit of a loss for him. But will these XPs be able to mount enough pressure for Plum? That's what I want to know. Plum thinks not. He's falling back in the face of the fatty fire. He's not going to push any further. He's lost a lot of his spam. Now, we should take a brief moment to talk about eco. North team are 200 ahead. And a second ago, they were actually like 400 ahead. They have more mass collected. They have more eco coming in. But they are about 100k behind your mass killed, which is about the same as their lead. So I would say that overall, it's actually pretty even in terms of eco all around. Oh, this is more like it. Boom's going for cloaking. Look, Telly, we're not going to see some Telly made the cheese. We're going to see a Cybran going around with a cloak and razor. That's what I want to see. Plum thinks of pushing again, but again he falls back when the fatty pressure opens fire on him. He's inching forward, but never quite daring. And what is this? This is an insane amount of TPNGs being transported forward by Yachiyo into Okpuck's forward base. What's he going to build here? There's GCs under construction, and he could be thinking of putting his 1,000 mass per tick into that. And he starts work on a... No. He starts work on a chicken, but he changes his mind, and here we are, on the front line, not in the back where it's safe, but on the actual literal front line, building a Yolo experimental missile launcher. I'm saying that again, on the front line. Why? Why did he ship all his engines to the front line and then start building an experimental missile launcher there? I'm at a loss. I mean, Okpuck seems to agree it's the right thing to do because he's sending his engines to help it out and it is going up like anything. But even so, he's doing it. Nomader's actually fallen back from Plum's pressure a bit here, and we're getting a fairly even battle line drawn across the map here. And the ecos are now pretty much dead even. As we see a nuke being finished, just a regular nuke for Nomander, because if this can like fire first and hit the Yolo before it's launched, and there are still more and more NGs being shipped in, and Brian has noticed it. Does he know why? Do they know why? No, they don't know what's being built yet. And look at this. This is already like half done. And he's queued up a second one. He has queued up a second one, also on the front line. Is this going to be the new meta, the new strategy? Hide your Yolo on the front line. If it is, let me tell you this. I'm going to be pretty surprised. But it might pay off. Who can say? Meanwhile, we now have quite a lot more XPs battling for Nomander here, and Plum just doesn't have the force to take it on. Boom, with his cloak Masorcom, might be the extra XP level of firepower that North Team needs in this fight, but they don't want to take it just yet. And I see there a notification that BrainDead has also started working on a nuke. He's putting it down here. That won't be finished for a while though. How close to loaded? And that's advanced nano, but it looks like he's just doing that for defensive reasons. He hasn't got a gun or anything. How about half loaded? And the Yolo is in the green. There's now cursory attempts to shield it. This has just been on the front line, unshielded. I am at an absolute loss for words as to this completely ridiculous play. And the Yolo finishes, and immediately Yachiyo starts work on the second one. He gives the Yolo over to Okpuck so that Okpuck can load it faster while Yachiyo focuses all his ridiculous amounts of eco. Because he must be stalling a lot. Yeah, he is. Look at that. With this amount of build power on a Yolo. He's given it to Okpuck. And if this actually gets work done, despite its ridiculous position, I am going to be completely amazed. I mean, I think, do they know about it yet? Do South Team know that that is a Yolo? No, they do not. Battle lines massing up. But all the heavy firepower is right here. Megas, GCs, and the Yolo. A huge number of Harbies swarming around, but the army from Nomander is over on this side. And it's massive. This could be a great target for the Yolo, actually. If he can hit, like, right here, that's going to get a lot of damage done. Strategic launch. But the Yolo has fired. Who's it going for? There it is. It's going for Nomander. Does Nomander has SMD? He has one, which isn't loaded there. He's got two, but this one's loaded once. But for those of you who don't know, the experimental nuke is gigantic, and it takes 2 hits from an SMD to kill it. We have a push coming in from BrainDead there, and the first SMD comes through, but the second isn't loaded. And I think we are about to see Nomander getting nuked. He gives everything over, boom, he gives everything over to BrainDead, expected to be caught in the blast, and boy, what a blast. Nomander, however, does have double nano, and he's only caught in the edge of the explosion. He does somehow survive. However, despite that hit, South Team have actually overtaken in eco, despite losing Nomander's center of the base. And now, BrainDead is pushing in, and he's going to try and take this Yolo out. There is a Mega here, there are 3 GCs here, there are Harveys here, but all they need to do is get in there and kill that Yolo. And we see on the minimap that BannableOffence has given everything back to Nomander. And this isn't going to be enough to break in. The Mega might, but if it could just bombard it from range. And we've also got Faffing sending one of his trademark waves of T1 bombers in. And Faffing takes the air fight to distract at the same time. I thought it looks like he might actually win it. He's positioned much better. And the bombs rain down. The bombs rain down as the next nuke goes off. Where's this one going? We'll follow that in just a moment. But the Yolo's down at the same moment as the second one finishes. This is wild. Is this one going to make it through? This one looks like it's going for Faffing or BrainDead right at the back. The bombs fall on the experimental missile launcher, but they haven't killed it yet. Meanwhile, this Yolo is coming for Faffing's air grid, and Faffing might be about to lose a very great deal indeed. Boom! Down it goes as the explosion wrecks his air grid, completely wrecks it. And this is a defensive Yolo. Look at that distance. It's tiny. This is a defensive Yolo. Look at that. We can see the Yolo right there in the background as the shot lands. It's almost close enough to hit the Yolo itself. I love that. Defensive Yolo. How often do I get to say that? But this has only got 900 hit points left after the previous bomber wave. And there's another bomber wave coming in from Faffing. Anti-aircraft fire from the monkeys is trying to take it out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It only needs a couple of hits to get through, and the couple of hits still get through. That's 2 Yolos built on the front line by Yachiyo, and that's 2 Yolos bombed out by Faffing. GG, did 2 bombers kill 2 Yolos, says Dimitri. Awesome game end placement. That's the most ridiculous thing I have seen for a very long time. And I mean, it did damage. It killed an air grid. It killed Nomander's base. And it did a decent amount of defensive fire. But now, there's a huge army pushing in on this location. There's nothing left to defend. The Yolos have shot their shot. You only YOLO once. Well, in this case, he's YOLO'd twice. But each one has only YOLO'd once. And I'm sort of mixing my metaphors a bit there. Strats come in for the Fatty, but Faffing has got air at the moment, and his ASFs easily take them out before the Fatty goes down. And things are now looking a little hazy for North team. Meanwhile, though, this is quite nice. We have a large chunk of Percys that are just walking into, while everything was fighting over the YOLO. Boom! Just walked a bunch of Percys into Nomander's flank, and there's nothing there to stop them. They're just getting in there, basically, completely for free. Plum just resigns there. And I guess after seeing your team lose 2 Yolos, it's understandable, though I don't think it's lost yet. They have, after all, YOLO'd 2 of the 3 highest rated enemy players. Boomking getting them worked on with his laser. Who's nuking there? That's BrainDead, and he's nuking Okpuck's forward base. Okpuck's comm is actually still right here. And he could do worse than to not be standing there when there's this entire army that's about to cut him off from his home base. And Nomander has... What could stop this army from Nomander? I'm not really sure. Let's have a look at this nuke coming in on Okpuck's expansion. Are we going to see a hit? I'm pretty sure we are, because if we didn't see any SMT, boom! The nuclear holocaust continues for both sides, but right now it seems like South Team has the eco lead. They have the mass kill lead by a gigantic margin. Okpuck there, he actually just resigned rather than wait for all of this lot to kill him. And that does leave just Yachiyo and Boomking against Faffing, Nomander and BrainDead. Now, they can't see Boom, I don't think, because he has got the cloak and he's out of armor range. Yeah, they don't know he's there. So he might be able to get some work done against these fat boys by just sneaking up on them. But, I mean, by the way, these Percys, look at them. They've been caught, finally, by a GC, but they have carved their way through the eco of Nomander, and that's why North Team aren't quite as far behind as they otherwise could be. So good work for those Percys, good damage, though they have finally been stopped. And, of course, there's insane amounts of reclaim here. Look at that. That is like 200,000 reclaim in that area right there. You could reclaim this and build a Mavel with it. There's that much. Ha! If at first you don't succeed, if at second you don't succeed, guess what? We have a third YOLO. That is 3 game-ending nuke launchers from North Team, and so far only one of them is still standing. This is a Novax, but it's not really going to have much traction against these T2 and T3 Seraphim shields, unless we see a lot more coming in from South Team to crack that. And where is he going? It's loaded. Where's he going to fire it? Oh, this could be bad.
Strategic launch detected.
The Yolo fires, and we'll track it in a second. It looks like it's defensive. It's going here, but looking at the movement, yes, look at this, look at this. We have a split from Nomander. And the Yolo is going to hit right in between them. That's a beautiful split. Absolutely perfect. And I don't think Nomander actually lost that much. He's actually only lost 16k mass to that. So that could have been a lot worse for Nomander. They've actually spotted the ACU there, wandering around. Don't know how. Must have sent a spy plane over it.
Strategic launch detected.
But the Yolo keeps on firing. Where's this one going? That's going for Nomander's forward base. That could help even the eco things up. But this is the problem for North Team at the moment. We have 2 chickens coming in on separate paths and 1 monkey plus a bit of point defense to defend. This one, I think, will be successful in defending. But Yachiyo is losing air grid over here as this chicken, plus like a couple of T3 units, but mainly the chicken, walks in. Is the monkey going to reposition itself in order to fight back? The Yolo does hit here, which is quite nice. That's going to take something out. Didn't bother watching it. Sorry about that. Okay, that's certainly a questionable defensive Yolo. So you might argue that every defensive Yolo is questionable, but look at this one. It's gonna... And is it actually even... It only catches the chicken in its outer wave, so not only was it against questionable targets and killing half its own stuff, it also didn't actually kill the chicken. These point defenses, however, are going to be more than enough to take down the chicken, and they take it down. The Yolo's taken some damage here.
Strategic launch detected.
But we have a shutout we can see on the minimap. It's out from BrainDead. I think he's... Oh, there's artifact coming in. We'll check on that in a moment. I think he's trying to sneak that past the SMDs, but both these SMDs are loaded, and I think that's in range, so I don't think that that's going to get through. Where's the arty? There it is. We've got this piece of T3RT, this emissary. It's Eon T3RT from BrainDead, and he's already working on another next to it, so that could break through and crack the Yolo if the Yolo doesn't hit it first. A lot of fatties out in defense for Boom, and thanks to the defensive nuke, it might do some good work. It is indeed caught by the SMD as the Yolo fires again. Where's it aiming? This one is going for Nomander's next expansion, and I don't think that there's any SMD to stop this. And all the eco that they can hurt for South Team is needed here, because look at that difference now. It's now 2.5 to 1.8, or 1.6 even. So that's like a 50% eco lead for South Team. Will this do something to remedy it? Blam. Well, it's going to take out a bit of eco, it's going to take out a bit of production, but I don't know if it's going to take out enough. That was a decent amount of mass killed, to be fair, but it's hardly remedied this immense discrepancy. Is there anything now that North Team can do to bring this game back? Meanwhile, I suppose someone was going to do it. Look at this, my loyal viewers. BrainDeadCommand has got a telemaser and he's beaming somewhere. He's got to be going in for either the Yolo or Yachiyo, hasn't he? Let's see if we can find out where he's going. Well, here we are, my loyal viewers. He's going for the Yolo and he is being frenziedly pung. He has been seen. They know he's coming, but what can they do about it? There must be point defenses surrounding this place. There are shields. And it is... He's not arrived yet. There he is. In he beams. And immediately the Yolo goes down. BrainDead goes down. There's a gigantic explosion. Yachiyo's Yolo is wiped out. Third Yolo is wiped out. Yachiyo's air grid takes a phenomenal amount of damage. There's now 2 pieces of artillery raining down from, I would say, BrainDead, but it's been inherited by Nomander, of course. As BrainDead's exploded there. Yachiyo is looking rather forlorn now in the wreckage of his base. And what can North Team possibly do? That was completely and utterly insane. Best game ever, Kratos make more. Well, it has certainly been a good game for us to watch. How I'd feel if I were one of the players in this complete... I can't think of a word that's family friendly for this, but some word that's family friendly for this. Anyway, how is it gonna finish? If I were North Team, I would seriously be considering resigning there. Look at the eco difference, look at the mass collector difference, look at the fact that there is 1 million more mass. That's twice the mass. 1 million more mass killed for South Team than North Team. That's utterly mad. Faffing has some strats coming in. What are they going to do? There's some air grid they could be going to target here. Yeah. Little bit of damage there, but Yachiyo going for teleport as he loses power. His shields are going down in the face of the scrap bombs of the RT, and I think that, yeah, look, they're just coming back for a pass on the comm. He's already severely damaged. Even one strap will do it, and boom, Yachiyo is taken out, leaving only poor old Boomking, North Team's illustrated player. The game is well and truly over, and Boomking resigns.
Launch detected.
What a complete and utter insane shenanigan of a game. I hope you enjoyed it. 2 Yolos on the front line. Play of game? Misplay of game? It was the something of game, but I haven't the faintest idea what. I'm sure you knew that something crazy was going to happen with them when there were that many fire beetles and I didn't put them in the thumbnail. So, would North Team have won if they'd managed to hide those Yolos at the back, or would they just have been scoutched and sniped? Tell me what you think in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey. I'm the Commissar. I will see you next time.